Hi there, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle, aka the live streaming teacher. And what I do on this channel is I provide education business professionals and entrepreneurs with tips that will help them to host profitable workshops and webinars. And in this video, I'm going to share 10 tools that will help you to host an interactive and engaging virtual workshop. It doesn't matter if you're planning for a live stream, workshop, or webinar. You can always use my Teach framework to plan an interactive and engaging experience for your audience. Teach stands for T, technology, E, engagement, A, activity, C, conversation, and H, help. There's a link in the comment section if you're interested in downloading and using the Teach framework. So I'm a teacher, and it is very easy for me to pull in platforms and ideas because that has been what I've been trained to do, to actually teach children. But it's different when you are teaching and engaging an adult audience. One of the things that I've had to adjust is to understand that I don't have to front load all of these experiences because adults come with a lot of the background information that you're going to need, or they're more than capable of finding what they need when given the proper information. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about 10 tools that you can use to help you engage your audience. The first tool is one of my favorite, which is Explain Everything. It is a digital whiteboard. Now, Explain Everything began as a whiteboard tool for business owners, and then it moved into the edu space for higher ed and education during the pandemic. One of the things that I like about Explain Everything is that you can start from scratch. It has an in-person, like kind of a PIP, where you can create a video and then still explain. You can record, you can live stream, you can drop a link, which is very helpful if you want to share your link with your audience when in your live stream, and they can come in and participate on the whiteboard. I've done that several times with my own students. So it's a great tool. It has webinars that you can learn from. It has demo videos and also a YouTube channel that explains, no pun intended, explain everything. This is a great tool. It's inexpensive. They have a free version. And if you are in the edu space, you can also get a discount from Explain Everything. The next tool is Google Meets. People really look over Google Meets because Google actually revamped it. It was Duo, I think. When I was preparing for this video, I read why did they change it. And a lot of their new features for this platform is to provide competition with Zoom, GoToWebinar, and all the other platforms. You have to choose your platform that is appropriate for you. I use Crowdcast, and Crowdcast has a plethora of features, but I don't use Crowdcast for workshops because it's more of a webinar type of platform. But when we're talking about platforms, one of the features that is important is to have a polling feature. Now, Google Meets and Zoom also have polling features. If you search for the features for Zoom and Google Meets, I'm sure you can find an article that will compare the two platforms. I use Zoom for my workshops only because it's people are familiar with Zoom. It doesn't cause any problems. Google Meets, I'm sure, is easy just like Zoom, but it's something that you have to figure out what your audience is comfortable using because it will create a barrier if you don't choose the correct platform. Now, the feature that I am talking about in Google Meets is polls. Polls are important because it gives your audience a chance to connect with the information that you're actually giving. It also is really a check for understanding. That is something that we do in education to where we check for our students to see if they're still with us. One of the biggest issues with webinars, workshops, and live streams is that the audience sometimes does not get an opportunity to express whether they understand or not. That's a simple check for understanding in the education world and something that you can simply do to see if your audience is still with you. Because one of the things that I do know as experts, we tend to get ahead of ourselves. Also, I do that too even when I'm teaching educators, because everybody has a different capacity of synthesizing and breaking down information and really understanding it. So when they leave you, they can actually implement their plan. The next tool are breakout rooms. Breakout rooms are overused and not really understood tool for virtual workshops. I've seen them even in the education space used wrong. It is a lot of times people, I know for myself, I've been guilty of this, that I will definitely hide before I know that there are breakout rooms. I do this because the breakout rooms seem to be counterproductive to what the goal is. Most webinar platforms these days have breakout rooms, including Google Meets and Zoom, and plenty other platforms have them. However, breakout rooms are to be used to connect to the overall objective, or let me say, learning objective of the workshop. And a lot of times it's not. It's just something that I feel like a lot of business owners use to check a box. And that's not what it should be used for. Breakout rooms should be used to dive deeper and give your audience an opportunity to provide their feedback and dive deeper and get some conversation between your audiences. So when you're planning and you're using my teach framework, that conversation piece is something that you really need to really think about in detail, especially if you're using breakout rooms. So the next tool are your platforms. The platform that I use for my business is Crowdcast. You have to definitely choose wisely when you're talking about platforms. Like I said in the beginning, I use two different platforms. The first one is Crowdcast for webinars. I don't use those for workshops. In my business, they are email generating webinars to fulfill my email list, and that's how I use Crowdcast. Sometimes I use it for if I'm hosting a summit. It's very good for that because you can do multiple or host multiple sessions, but I don't generally use it for workshops. Workshops are very intimate settings, and you should be able to in a workshop, if you are either an audience or the presenter, you should be able to ask questions, connect on a deeper level. Webinar platforms are very superficial because it lends itself to giving information. Now, the tech piece on your platform, if you are not technologically savvy, then I highly recommend that you learn as much as you can about the platform that you're using. I've been using Crowdcast. I know it's been at least about 3 years now, and they have constantly upgraded their platform, which puts me back sometimes beneath the learning curve as it pertains to that. But most entrepreneurs that I've seen are not tech savvy. And if that is you, then I highly recommend that you find a platform to where you can operate it, because 9 times out of 10, if you are just starting out, you don't have a team of people to host your webinar with. So definitely choose wisely. There are several out there. A lot of people are always have analysis paralysis because they are like, it's so many platforms. Choose the one that works for you. There's no right or wrong in that. It's just get the one that matches your skill and comfortableness of operating the platform solo. Most of the platforms these days, the features are really the same, but some may offer a little bit better interface, meaning what you see is easier to operate. That's why I like Crowdcast. Crowdcast is very simple. It's a no-brainer. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles like Zoom. Every time I log into Zoom, it seems as if they had something new. But the reason why I don't get rid of Zoom is because my audience is comfortable operating Zoom, and there's no barrier to getting into the workshop that I have to educate the audience on. So that's why I use Zoom. But if you're starting out, you don't have to use Zoom. You can train your audience to work with whatever platform that you have. So we've covered 5 tools: whiteboards, polling software, breakout rooms, and just really choosing a platform that works with your technology skill level. So the next tool is chat functionality. The chat is important because it's the way that you will communicate with your audience. If you are a solopreneur, that means that you will be moderating your chat generally by yourself, or you can get someone to moderate the chat for you. If you can, it would be great, especially if you are someone who struggles with technology. So if you find that you cannot operate the chat, I would highly suggest that you get someone to moderate your chat during your webinar or workshop and really take notes and keep the people engaged. When you're talking about engagement, you really need to watch the chat and really make it to where, if it's a workshop, where you have a part where you have questions, and then you have a parking lot. That could be a sticky note. That could be a Google Doc that you share with your audience, and they can just jot down their questions. And when you come to a good stopping point, you pull those questions up. It just depends on how you structure your workshop or webinar. A lot of people wait until the end with webinars, which I don't really agree with, because I know even with children and adults, sometimes that understanding piece, like I said, the check for understanding, it breaks down if that question is not answered. And that's why you'll see people answering questions in the chat. And that's where a moderator can come in and be super, super helpful. The next tool is your screen sharing. Screen sharing is actually this. It is the ability to share your screen. Now, I use Ecamm to host all of my workshops. I use their virtual cameras. It has the capability of screen sharing. This is an actual web page. It is the Kahoot web page that I am going to show you today as one of the engagement tools to gamify some of your workshops or webinar. I love Kahoot. Children love. I love Kahoot. The adults, if you have not tried Kahoot, you need to try it, especially if you're looking for something really easy and it does not cost anything. It's for the free. It is free. So it's a very good tool for you to use as an engagement tool. But I'll get more into that. I'm getting off track. But the screen sharing is important for you because in the teach framework, I always stress show, not tell. The brain does not think in words, it thinks in pictures and it converts it to communication. So at the end of the day, the more that you can show, the better your outcome will be for your workshops and your webinar. The next tool is virtual reality, and I am sharing with you one of my faves that I use in my own classroom that has a virtual reality portion to it, and the kids love it. Now, in the day and age of the expense and reduced budgets and costs that even your companies that you're working with, you can offer a virtual reality part to your workshop. And one thing I love about Nearpod is that you can drop the link and everybody can join in, or it's something that you can send to your participants ahead of the workshop and take them on a virtual reality field trip to get them engaged and excited about the workshop content. Nearpod is not free. Let me say that again. It is not free, but if you invest in it as a business owner, you cannot go wrong. There are other features of Nearpod, but the virtual reality portion of it is a great tool to bring your audience together to really get a deeper understanding of what you are teaching. We have covered a plethora of tools, and I hope that it has helped you. We have three more tools that are really simple things that you can add to your workshops or webinars to give an engaging and interactive experience for your audience. The next one is gamification. With gamification, I had already introduced this to you all. This is Kahoot. As you can see, Kahoot brings out all the stops, warm up the big games this summer with. It has a free version for you if your budget is tight. This is something that you can use real simple for your workshops or webinars. It can be used as an intro, it can be used as a brain break or anything of that nature. It's really simple and fun. They have Kahoots that are already uploaded that you can use or edit. Even in the free version, it offers a lot and adds a lot of connectivity and fun to your virtual workshop. So if that's something that you're interested in, check out Kahoot. Really simple. Play around with it. You can even drop a link if like you have a Facebook group. That's something that you can do to engage your audience. So the last and very simple tool that you can use to help with engagement and an interactive experience is social media. Using a hashtag for social media can help your audience to share and bring in their own audience and bring awareness about what they are learning. I have seen this work over and over again, especially at conferences that I have had the pleasure of presenting at. I just presented in New Orleans and they use hashtag mathlit so that people could follow the hashtag. And that is something simple that you can add to help with engagement before, during, and after your workshops. And also, it brings awareness for you as a business owner. It introduces you to their network of people, whether it be business owners or people who are looking to engage with content that you're offering or content that they are looking to purchase. It just depends. But social media is something that you could start tomorrow. You can start tomorrow with creating a catchy hashtag and also just use AI. AI will tell you what is a good hashtag that will capture your ideal client's attention. So, those are the 10 tools that I recommend that you add to your workshops or webinars to engage and create an interactive experience for your audience. I hope that this is something helpful that you can use right away in your business. Thank you for tuning in. Drop a comment in the comment section, and I will see you all in my next live stream or video.